If you're terrible at this game like I was when I first started, then doing some of these things could help you. I wouldn't consider myself the best player in Mech Arena, not even close. But I will say that I'm a whole lot better today than I was when I first began this game 2 years ago. Plus, I've played over 18,000 matches thus far and learned some things from trial and error, as well as from more experienced players giving me pointers while I was on my journey to tier 9 before there was a tier 10 and beyond that. Nonetheless, I am free to play, having not spent a dime in this game, and this can help those who are also free to play, or pay to win, / pay to progress faster, or whatever you want to call it, and are new and are just straight up bad at the game and want to improve even a little bit. This may just be basic knowledge to some, but to those who aren't feeling too good or not liking the outcome in their matches, this could be a surprise to them, and if they know some of these things already, then they maybe need to rehear them to kind of get back to the basics. First off, you can't just play 20 matches to start and expect to be great right away. You simply have to play more. Maybe not all day every day, although that can accelerate you getting better at the game. Playing more will give you more opportunity to figure out how things are in the game, especially with learning the maps and where the good spots are for increasing your chances to victory. Long sight lines, areas with heavy foot traffic, as well as flank areas that can be used to your advantage or disadvantage when you're solely focused on the enemies in front of you. High map knowledge only comes from playing a lot. Next, know the mechs your enemies are using. I don't know how many times I've seen an enemy's location without fully seeing them, rushing up to try and kill them only to be stunned by a Zephyr, system crash by a Guardian, or put in a stasis effect by a Tengu, and getting destroyed straight after. Sometimes these enemies will bait you, staying in that hidden spot, knowing you can see their location and just banking on you to come near them. Don't rush in until you know which mech they have. If you're feeling risky and do rush in, then hopefully you can use your ability that can counter them before they use theirs to better your chances. If possible, keep your mech out of sight for as long as possible until you can surprise attack the enemy yourself. Also, know what weapons your enemies are using. This tool will help you realize how you should attack them. Do they have a short range, mid range, or long range gun? Do their weapons shoot straight, bend around corners, have splash damage, etc.? What about you? Whatever range weapon and type you have will force you to fight within that weapon's range and style, giving you limitation or guidance, better yet. The thing is that whatever weapons are being used against you and that you're using yourself, make sure to use cover as often as you can as well. Practice peek shooting with more than half of your mech's body behind cover while shooting only one weapon of that open side. Then do the other side in the same way if the situation and area of field allows it and whenever necessary. This way you'll be less exposed, taking less damage, yet creating some damage on the enemy and potentially killing them. When you first start this game, you'll come across many players who don't use cover often, making getting kills fairly easy. But as you keep climbing up in tiers, you'll notice more and more players who know what they're doing, and the one thing they all have in common is that they use cover a lot. Take a page out of their book. Keep your head on a swivel. Even when you're using cover, keep an eye on your sides and backsides, as some enemies can and will sneak up on you without you even noticing. Be aware of how many enemies are visible around you, whether they're highlighted in red or not, as well as how many are still alive on the field in real time by checking the head count at the top of the screen. This can help you determine if there's a possibility someone is sneaking up on you, or if you got the mech's on-field advantage or disadvantage. Do not go chasing down a kill unless it's safe to do so, or you absolutely have to, like trying to tie or win the match at or near the very end of the round or match. I mean, if the lead for either side is too big, then whatever. Have at it, running after the enemy with low health. What you don't want to do for the most part is chase down an enemy retreating back to his home territory. That can lead you getting killed by other members on that team you're unaware of, being outnumbered, or getting surprise attacked by an enemy who just respawned at the right place, right time to attack you. Next, if there's enough time and or it makes sense, self-destruct the mech you're currently using for another mech you have available that'll give you a better chance to win. Just don't do it in free-for-all tournaments. I don't want nobody coming at me saying,
CG Freak, you said to destroy your own mech for a better chance to win. I destroyed all 4 of their mechs for a whole match every time after my Eclipse with Revokers died, and I got last place.
Firstly, if you're doing that with the Eclipse Revoker or whatever your strongest loadout combo is, then you should already know by now not to do that. But in case you didn't know and been living underneath a Mech Arena rock, because there's always at least one person, every self-destruction, including places where you can jump off the map, falling into your own death, counts as -1 on your kill score. Anyways, I'll give some examples of what I mean to self-destruct when it makes sense. 1. In deathmatch, when your team is down by a small amount and you're sitting back with Aegis launching rocket mortars over and over getting no kills, then considering if there's enough time on the clock, Self-destruct for your surge or eclipse you have sitting on the side to quickly get into action to try and pull a comeback victory. What I just mentioned is a very common scenario for when trying to complete achievements or event objectives. 2. In CPC, your team has 3 of the 5 beacons with both teams closely approaching 100 influence with a little time on the clock. It's just you left with one other enemy on the field. You can clearly see the enemy going after a beacon your team have control of on the minimap, but you're too far away and your mech is too slow to intercept the enemy's attempt. Well, if you have more mechs at your disposal, this is a great time to self-destruct the mech you're currently using and spawn your new mech at the beacon the enemy is approaching. If timed right, you should be able to have a protection shield right as the enemy enters the beacon, potentially causing them to waste ammo and their ability if they haven't used it already, giving you an advantage in that moment for a couple of seconds. Next, be more willing to adapt and or adjust game plan on the fly based on the opposing team's playstyle if need be. Sometimes you start a match with a certain mech, with a certain weapon, and it'll work out from start to finish of that match. Great. Sometimes that same mech and loadout won't work on another match, and so you must change up what's not working while in a match to give you and your team a better chance to win. Some game modes are just easier to pivot, like in 5v5 you can change strategy from round to round if things aren't going your way. Maybe you focus on attacking the bots if the real player on the other team is too strong. Maybe you target the real player who is too strong, especially if they're killing off your bot teammates at a fast pace, by eliminating them as quickly as you're able, because after all, that could be their strongest mech and loadout in their hangar. Maybe you find multiple ways to flank the enemies for a surprise attack if going head up isn't working, or vice versa, by being more aggressive if it takes too much time for you to try and flank. Basically, have a feel for how the match is going to try and take the advantage or take back the advantage if lost. Overall, I cannot truly give you all the answers to being better at this game, as you will still have to figure out a lot on your own by simply playing over and over. But still, I will say it's like any other game you play that you want to get good at. Play a lot, learn the mechanics, and be willing to adapt as needed. Plus, it doesn't hurt to use the best mechs with the best weapons if you got them in your arsenal, as that could potentially increase your odds of winning. Also, there are just some matches that no matter how good you yourself play, there is nothing you could have done more to have won those matches, as the matchmaking made it that way. Whether you have to face overpowered real players, overpowered bots, both, and or your teammates were underpowered with weaker weapons and weaker mechs, running around in circles at the back of the map, or just outside near a red beacon in CPC, spray painting the walls with ammo with no enemy in sight, sprinting out into the line of fire while reloading during their ability cooldown, etc, etc. Whether they are real players or bots, more so the bots. Yeah, bots can be annoying and unhelpful a lot of times, but they've been a major part of this game since I started, and I would assume even before I started Mech Arena. Sometimes the other real players was or is just better than you, even when properly matched. Just take it as a learning lesson from inspiration and pay attention to what they used and how they used it, and do something similar if you've admired it that much and have that loadout or close to it, and put your own spin to it, whatever that may be. Still, if you stick to the basics, then you should improve and be able to win more matches than you lose. If not, as long as you're having fun, then just roll with the punches as you continue to try and do better. If trying to get better is causing you too much frustration and stress, then just take a break from Mech Arena to your discretion, however long that may be. 1 hour, 2 hours, a day, whatever, and just do something else. Play another game for whatever platform you choose, watch a movie or a show, go outside, then just come back to it later after and try again. That way you're not creating resentment for a game you really like and will happily continue to play on your own time.